Good morning, everybody. So, it's going to be another relatively short one. I'm on the small public trail. Just wanted to take a little bit of a walk. It's Sunday. It's about 12 o'clock, 12:30. That'd be a good time. Probably won't be too many people out. Well, I mean, there's hardly ever any people out, ever. So that kind of, it's kind of good, I guess. Let's start with the rice diet, alright? So, I'm quitting. 2 of the bags of rice, the 2-pound bags, so there's 4 pounds of rice that are brown rice, and I just can't. Like, if I would have started with the brown rice and powered through a bag before switching to white rice, I probably could have did it. But after eating white rice for that long, and then switching to brown rice, it's just... to me, it's a huge downgrade. Like, it's grainy, it's a little bit stiffer, takes longer to cook. It's just, I just can't, so I'm not doing it. I'm not sure how long it's been. I'll have to check the date of the video I started, and then subtract the day, because I started the day before the video came out. But, I think it's just short of 2 weeks. So it's not... I mean, I stuck with it for a while. I mean, I wish I could have did it for longer. I have 1 more bag of white rice, but I want to save it for sushi. Taught myself how to make sushi. You see the short on my channel. It has the recipe in the description. It was very good. Like, very good. Now, I use normal white rice. You're supposed to use a Japanese grain of particular sushi rice. But, I mean... when it was fresh, as soon as I made it, and as soon as it chilled, it was as good as a sushi bar. But after it sat for a while, after it sat for, 8 hours or so, it got a little grainy too. So I think I know why they used a particular kind of rice. But, I mean, if you read my recipe, it's not your traditional sushi recipe. I kind of improvised. And like I said, it was easily, when it was fresh, it was easily as good as, any of that sushi you can buy at like a all-you-can-eat buffet or something. So, I'm quite proud of that. I'm quite proud that I learned to do that. So yeah. I'm gonna keep the 2-pound bag of rice that I opened this morning of brown rice, and I'm probably gonna donate the other bag because it's to make it taste good. I'd have to add a bunch of stuff to it, and that kind of depletes the purpose of the diet. So, I could refry it with butter and eggs. And it wouldn't be horrible, but I'm not going to force myself to eat something I don't like if I'm not going to get the complete benefit of it. So that's the theory there. And like I said, I'm keeping the last bag of white rice for any future sushi or anything I might want it for, because... well, I don't hate white rice. White rice is pretty good. It's just the brown rice. I just can't. I tried. I can't. So, as far as cheating is concerned, the salad I got was kind of cheating after I noticed all the extra junk they added to it. And I did end up going out drinking last night. But other than that, I did stick to it. So, according to my old school step on a gravity scale thing, I lost about 15 pounds, which is, that's more than I expected in a short amount of time. So, I guess the real test will be when I have my next doctor's visit in November, to see if I can, kind of keep the weight off and see how my weight matches up to the old weight then. So it'll be semi-interesting. I'm gonna try to maintain a healthier, low-caloric diet, but like I said before, like, my old diet wasn't that bad. Like, probably the worst thing I ate was breakfast, because I'd eat 2 pumpkin cookies or a donut or, some sort of quick grab and go, like I was doing biscotti for a while. And I'd add a scoop of cocoa to my coffee. So, like, breakfast was probably the worst meal I did. So, I mean, overall, I was already eating a fairly healthy diet. You hear the leaves crunch? I'm gonna try to hike as much as I can, well, before winter, because this is like the most beautiful time of the year. Granted, the leaves are still a little lackluster compared to what I remember, but it's pretty nonetheless. So yeah, I mean, either way you look at it, without the brown rice, the rice I have left would have lasted another 2 days. So it would have only been about 2 weeks either way. So I'm not really copping out too early. I almost kind of feel bad, but I mean, in the amount of time that I did spend doing it, it's kind of past my expectations. Now, I don't notice a lot of physical change. Like, I definitely looks like I lost some weight, but I carry all my weight. I always joke and say I carry my weight like a woman. No offense to anybody, but, women and their metabolism and the way they store fat is usually like, belly button to kneecaps is like the first place. That's why they always joke, like, that'll go straight to my thighs. There's a gray squirrel if you guys can see it. And that's why they always joke, like, oh, it'll go straight to my thighs or whatever, because that's just kind of how the biology works, I guess. And I carry my weight very similarly, so I did notice that. I noticed that I'm not as well. Okay, for instance, when I first moved back, I wore these pants, and like, I can fit back into them, and I feel like there's even more room than there was. So either they stretched out a bit, or I did in fact lose a bit. So that's pretty great. Yesterday was the 15th, was the first Halloween event. They held the Halloween event between 2 and 4 o'clock. So I didn't wear my costume because, it was warm out and it was a pretty short event. And it was pretty lackluster. Now, my brother and the kids and his fiancée found me at Dollar General, and I was picking up something for another project I'm going to talk about in a little bit. But they saw me there, so we went up to my Gram's house, see the kids. She's seen the kids and all that. Then I walked around with them at the event. They're one big happy family again. That's I don't know, like I said, I don't know how to feel about it, I just don't. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. My brain works in a way that it's like, first, think that it's some sort of ploy and figure out what the ploy might be. And then, next, maybe it's the truth. So I don't know. I don't know. But that's good, at least for the kids. I mean, my nephews are, well, actually, a lot of the kids around here are surprisingly good. Well, no, I don't want to say that. The couple of kids I interact with are surprisingly good, like, for being small children. My oldest nephew is, like, 9, and my cousin that I play basketball with sometimes is, like, 9. And, like, you know, they're pretty good kids. So, you know, at least they don't deserve to have the fallout of whatever's going on. So, yeah. The event itself, like I said, pretty lackluster. It was a trunk or treat. There was maybe 15 cars. They all gave out some candy. We got there at like 2:07, and the first car was already out of candy. And it wasn't the fact that there was like a ton of people. Like, there was a good bit of people. They just didn't get enough. So the event started at 2 o'clock and they were out by 2:07. So I don't know, like, I don't know what they were thinking, but that was pretty lackluster as well. And then they had a thing to vote for who's like the best trunk decorator. And I was like, none of them really stood out to me. Like, cheap dollar store Halloween decorations and a costume. Like, yeah, it's cool. The fact that they showed up and gave out candy was far cooler than any of the trunks. So, you know, it's just, that's just my opinion. So yeah, the project I'm doing, I'm going to have another short coming up here, probably tonight. It's, one of my grandmother's friends died. So they're having a basket party, and she wanted to donate a bunch of plastic canvas. And I was like, why don't I make a basket out of some of the old stuff that didn't sell at the yard sale, and then we get rid of bigger, maybe not bigger, but more bulkier things, and it's still going to be a really nice basket. And the thing is, all the stuff that I put in the basket was brand new. Like, it wasn't like just a bunch of junk. Like, it was brand new stuff. It was just like a bunch of dust collectors. Like a brand new Statue of Liberty that was still in the box. Like, I tied it down with some wire to a piece of cardboard, and a lion plant thing that was a music box, which is really nice. And so I ended up tying that down, and some weird vase that looks like it might be Oriental in origin. It might even be worth something, but to find somebody that wants it, that'd be a headache. So I made a basket. That was pretty cool. That'll be the short coming up. And it gets rid of some clutter, and if somebody wins it, then they have, like, you know, I wanted to call it like the re-gift basket, because, like, if somebody gets it, you know, they can just re-gift the stuff to somebody else. You know, you got somebody that likes dust collectors, you know, it'd be right up their alley. So I'm taking this walk a bit on the early side, because I think I'm hopping on the server today, because they're having a build competition, and I think I might actually do a video on it. Like, I might enter and do a video. I don't think I'll talk because I still didn't get the headphone jack extender that I need to be able to use my headset without worrying about ripping it out of the computer. Because if I plug my headset in, I got like an inch of playroom. Like, if I move more than an inch or two, I risk ripping it out of the computer, and I just don't want to do that. But that's fine, because I could do the build event, and then just put music in the background, and that'll be that. That's at 4 o'clock today, so that'll be semi-exciting. 3 o'clock maybe? I don't know. It's not now. It's a few hours away. So I'll probably be entering that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else before I end the clip and turn off the camera, because I'll turn off the camera, do my whole little outro thing, turn off the camera, and be like, "Oh, that's right. Now that's something I remembered," and then there'll be like 15 clips of just little stuff that I remember. And to me, not only is that annoying editing, I can't be like very fluid to watch. So I did have some interesting discussion ideas, but my brain's been really kind of fuzzy lately, so I keep forgetting crap. Like, I don't know, somebody said something, and it just kind of like rubbed me the wrong way, and I was going to talk about it, but now I don't remember what it was. So, yeah. It's one of those things where, you know, I'll be sitting in my room and remember it and be like, oh, well, now I'm not on camera, so I'm not gonna be able to, you know, discuss it. So, dramatic pause. Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, I'm as far as things I've been doing, it's just been like little crap. Trying to stick to this rice diet, and like there was several problems with that. Like, I think the first episode I did, I said that I felt like I was more energetic, but the more I did it, like, I felt like I was energetic as long as I kept eating. But if I got hungry, I'd be toast. And I was finding it harder and harder to stay up past like 10 o'clock, which isn't the end of the world, because I don't barely have anything to do now as it is, let alone at 10 o'clock at night. So that was, I don't like having hindrances like that. Like, if I want to stay awake, I want to be able to stay awake. But don't get me wrong, I'm not too upset about the sleep. So, like, if you haven't caught on, I suffer from insomnia. Not as bad as some, but more often than I like to. So, actually doing the rice diet helped me in sleeping quite a bit. Now, I had kind of a rough night last night, but that's because I drank. And I wasn't going to. Like, I know I said in one of the videos that I'm probably not going to drink on the 15th because, one, I'm running really low on money again, and I don't want to break into the Halloween money. And two, I wanted to follow the diet, but I mean, I was following the diet really freaking well, and you're supposed to have a cheat day, so it kind of just worked out. Another reason I wasn't going to drink was because I thought the thing was going to run later than what it did. So, you know, I was going to have a few drinks, throw on my costume, walk around with the kids, you know, and then go finish out my night with more drinks. But with it being 2 to 4, I didn't want to start drinking that early because, one, I probably wouldn't get drunk, and two, I'd end up drinking all the beer before 7 o'clock, and, that kind of ruins that, so yeah. It was my typical night out, went down, shot pool by myself for 2 hours and went home. It's one of those things, I don't really, at this stage of the game, I no longer expect to have friends or somebody to talk to, but it's still kind of weird. I did chit-chat with a few people I went to school with that showed up, but yeah, it was rather short. It was more like, hey, how you doing? And, yo, I'm leaving. That was pretty much the bulk of the conversation. So, I mean, there's not a whole lot to talk about around here, except drama, which segues me into my next thing. I went down to my cousin's house, and I wanted to drop off a shirt I was going to give him because I bought it from, like, Amazon or something, and if you buy it from Amazon, it comes from all over the place, and I bought a large, and it was more like a small or a medium, so when I was in shape, it fit, and it looked okay, but it was still a little tight, so I gave it to him. He's 9, so it might take him a couple of years to grow into it, but he had a shirt with a hoodie that he said he liked, and I was like, well, I have a shirt that I was going to sell at the yard sale that has a hood that I'll just give you if you want it, so that was that. So I dropped it off, and I went to talk for a little while. They started talking about my brother and his relationship, and I'm like, I don't want involved in this garbage. I don't know exactly what's going on. I don't know if it's true, not true, but gossip is one of my biggest pet peeves. It's one of the things that destroys families, destroys lives, destroys relationships, and I don't want any part of it. Like, yeah, I realize that, if I was going to get the truth of the situation, it would probably be from somebody else. Like, I'm not going to get the truth from the party that it's involved in, but I mean, it doesn't weigh much on my soul. Whether I'm right or they're right, it doesn't matter, because what's going to happen is what's going to happen. I have very little control over it, and partaking in spreading rumors is just something I absolutely hate. But we were talking for a little while, and I told my one cousin, I'm like, you know what? I just told my other cousin that I play basketball with that you're like my favorite. Stop talking about drama, or I'm gonna drop you down the list. So that ended that. Then after I went drinking all night, well, not all. Well, you get what I'm saying. After I was about 4 beers deep, I went back through, and I heard them talking, and they were out by they had a campfire. So I walked up and was talking for a little bit. My other cousin was there that I haven't seen in like forever. So we talked for a little while about, like, my ex-girlfriend was a subject, which was really kind of weird. He was like, oh, she's married now. And I'm like, yeah, well, I mean, we talked for a little while until I deleted my Facebook. We didn't really break up on bad terms. I was like, she got married, but she was talking about leaving him, and I was like, I don't want to be, there's a lot of reasons why I don't want to go back to that. Like, it was a really good, in my opinion, for being a long distance relationship. Like, we saw each other a lot. Like, I would go down there for 2 weeks, and she'd come back up to my house for 2 weeks. And it was for the bulk of things, a really good relationship. And, you know, it ties into my theory, you know. I want my relationships, I want them to be like, you know, two people, all in. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, you know, it doesn't. And I don't know if I base that because that's how my first relationship was, but it just seems like a good thing. Like, me and her, we got along good. We were together for 3 years, maybe a little longer. And we went at it real good. Like I, without actually having like an engagement ring, we actually threw the idea around a couple of times. But ultimately, the distance and the rumors just kind of ruined it. So I would rather know that we left on fairly good terms, and that if I talked to her today, she would still talk to me. And that's more than I can say for a lot of my exes. So, you know, it's just that it is what it is, you know. I want something that kind of doesn't exist. You know, I want a semi-attractive, semi-active, semi-positive influence and faithful girlfriend that's going to, you know, be all in. You know, we're doing this, we're doing it, you know? And that's not how the world works anymore. Now it's like, it's almost like, it seems like it's some sort of like competition to see how many people you can screw or manipulate. And that's not how I play, you know? Just not the way I do things. So, I don't want to say I'm happy single, because I think about it quite often. But the drama, the games, the lies, the manipulation, especially in small towns, like, and with me not being able to drive, not having a real job, like, it would only be a matter of time until we hated each other. And it's just not, it's not worth the headache, the emotions. As far as being single's concerned, I'm at a stage in my life where I'm fairly comfortable with it. And if I thought I had a good opportunity, like that girl at that party, if I thought I had a good opportunity, I went for it. But, you know, I don't put myself out there very often because the emotional harm compared to the emotional benefit just isn't there. It's just not there. It's not worth it. It's like, my outlook on a relationship puts me at a fairly good disadvantage, as well as, you know, just the people, the town I'm surrounded by. Like, they have a whole other, I'm pretty sure they have a whole other outlook on how relationships go. So, for the most part. And it's sad, but it's reality. So, it is what it is. Yeah. So, that's definitely it. I'm done talking now. I'm at the beginning of the trail again. And this is probably, it's almost a half an hour. I didn't think I was talking for that long. Alright. Thanks for watching, guys. And I will see you next